Hey guys, HackerSploit here, back again with another video, and welcome back to the shell scripting series. I know I haven't made a video in this series for a while, but it's time to make ground in this series. And in this video, we're going to be looking at how to create a simple file encryptor and decrypter, obviously using the shell scripting. Now, before I move on, I just want to say something really quickly. I know I don't want to take your time. If it seems that I don't reply to your comments or your questions, it really is not because I don't want to. It's because there are a lot of comments that I have to go through, and usually I take about, I would say, about half an hour each day to reply to as many as I can. So if I don't reply to yours immediately, don't worry, just know I will reply to it. So for those of you asking, why your comments are not being answered, they're just, it's really a long list of comments that comes all in once. And then I have to make time for that and then answer the question. So please do bear with me. If I don't answer it, I'll probably answer it within 24 to 48 hours. Otherwise, let's get started with this video. So we are going to be creating a simple file encryptor / decrypter. It can do one or both of these functions, one or both. And we'll be so far using everything that we've learned. All that we've learned will be involved here. However, I do want to tell you guys that if you feel that you can improve the script, then by all means go ahead and do that. I want to see you guys improve these scripts, and see where we can go with them. But the scripts are available on my GitHub repository. So again, the link will be in the description. So you can check out, and we've made a lot of changes to the other scripts, and they've really become better. All right. So we are going to be using, a tool that is pre-installed on Kali Linux. You might not have it on Ubuntu, but it's really very simple to install. We're going to be using GPG, which is essentially the GNU Privacy Guard, as you probably would have known it. It is like a free implementation of OpenPGP, and it allows you to encrypt data and also allows you to generate keys, etc. All right. So I think I've made a few videos about it, about GPG and that type of encryption, but we're going to be using this. And don't worry, I'll be talking to you about the commands that you can use. But the usage is fairly simple. In our case, it's all about structuring the code to make sense of it. All right. So let's get started. I've created a file called encrypt.shell. Really simple. I have my shebang, and we're ready to go. All right. So the first thing I'm going to say is I'm just going to display some text to the user, and I'm going to say, let me just increase the size of the terminal here so you guys can see what's going on. So I'm going to say echo, this is a simple file encryptor. Encryptor, decryptor. It does both, whatever you want it to do. So we're just going to say that. And then we can say echo, please choose what you want to do. You can say something really simple like that, essentially just telling them to make a choice. We are going to use a menu now. So again, we'll create a list of choices. So we're just going to call the list choice, and the list will be called, we'll say encrypt and decrypt. So we looked at menus in the previous video, and this is going to also incorporate that, as you can see. All right. So that's the list. So the choice is going to involve encrypt or decrypt a file. Okay. Now, we can obviously start using the select, which I'll do right now. Select. So it'll say select option. That is the variable here. So select option in choice, which will work. So we can say select option in choice, because that is exactly what we want. We want to select an option in the choice. The option is going to be either option 1 or option 2. Of course, the reply is different. So select option in choice, and we're going to say do the following. All right. So we're then going to use an if statement or a conditional statement, whatever you want to call it. And as I mentioned in the previous video, this is a perfect implementation of what can be done with menus, and obviously furthermore with conditional statements. All right. So I'm going to say if, and we're just going to follow the appropriate syntax. So we're now going to say if the variable reply, which stores the reply that you enter or the user enters. So if reply is equal to the value which is either option 1 or option 2. So we're going to say in this case, if it is equal to encrypt or option 1, I want you to do the following. All right. So I'm going to say we have obviously selected the select, and now we are using a conditional statement. So we'll say now after the conditional statement, we're going to say the following. So we'll say do the we're just going to say then. Sorry about that. I just really wanted to explain the structure. So then, this is in case of encrypting the file. So we can say now you have selected encryption, you know, something just vague like that. Of course, you can customize it to whatever you want. So we're going to say please enter the file name. Now, one problem with this script, or one thing that I want you guys to fix, as I mentioned with as I covered in the tests video, is I want you to give the script functionality where you are able to select a directory, the directory of the file that you want to encrypt. In this case, the script has to be run in the same directory of the file that you want to encrypt or decrypt. All right. So we're going to say please enter the file name. And of course, you have to specify the extension. So pretty basic there. So please enter the file name. And now we're going to read, and we're going to store the data that we read, which is essentially going to be the file name and the extension. So we're going to say, I knew there was a spelling mistake there. So we're going to say read, and we'll give it a variable of file. We'll just call it file. And we now want to use the GPG command, or the GNU Privacy Guard tool, to essentially encrypt the file. And the syntax is very simple. So it's GPG, and we want to encrypt. So we use the C command, and then we specify the name of the file, which is stored in the file variable. So file, and that should be done. So that will encrypt the file. If you can also incorporate the functionality of removing the original file, which you can do, which is possible by, you know, using remove R and then specifying the file which will remove the original, which I don't recommend unless you want to do it. So you can customize that to your liking. So we can say echo the file has been encrypted, like so, encrypted. And that should be that statement in one area or one denomination of the conditional statement. We then have the else. You can use else if you want to specify additional parameters that judge the what the user enters in terms of the reply or the option. In my case, I'm just going to keep it simple. So we're going to say else, and we'll say echo. This is now in terms of decryption. So please enter the we can just say please enter the file name, and this is in case of decryption. So let's also include the entrance statements that will be displayed to the user. So you have selected decryption, like so, and that should be good there. All right, so you have selected decryption. Please enter the file name, and now we're going to say we want to read, and we'll give it a different variable name. So we're going to say file, and we can just say file2, and we'll just store it under a different variable. And now we're going to use GPG again. And GPG, now to decrypt a file, you use the decrypt command, and then you specify the variable that contains the file name and the extension, which is file2, right? And that should decrypt the file. And again, if you want to get rid of the original encrypted file, you can go ahead and do that if you want to. Now GPG automatically stores, before I actually move on, GPG automatically stores any passphrase that you use in a list of keys that it has. So if you're running this on a different system, it's very important that you remember the passphrase, and I'll explain this as we move along. Okay, so we can then run another echo here saying echo the file has been decrypted. All right, and like so, and we hit and we are done with that conditional statement. So you can say fi to close the if statement. And I think we are ready to actually close the menu. So done. And yeah, so let's run the script. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to exit, and we're going to run the encrypt script. Now I'm in the shell scripts folder, which contains some of the scripts that we've been working on in previous videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to encrypt the password generator.shell file. Okay, so let me run the encrypt shell over here, and I'm going to hit enter, and as you can see, it's going to tell you this is a simple file, encrypter, decrypter. Please choose what you want to do. So you can either choose to encrypt or decrypt a file. So in my case, I'm going to select option 1. We'll encrypt a file and then we'll decrypt it. Alright, so I'm going to say hit enter. You have selected encryption. Please enter the file name. The file name is, we are currently in the working directory. So I'm going to say, let's encrypt password generator. So you want to specify the file name, password generator.shell file. And as I mentioned, this script has to be run within the same directory of the files that you want to encrypt or decrypt. That's something that I want you guys to tweak and make better in the script. All right. So where you can specify the file directory. All right. So password generator.shell file. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to prompt me to enter my passphrase for the encrypted file. I'm going to just type in password. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to tell me to re-enter the passphrase. I'm going to hit password. And we should be good. The file as encrypted, and the script is still running, which is really not what we want, but I'll be covering that in the next video when we talk about exit codes and essentially termination. All right, based on results. So for now, I'll just use Ctrl+Z to stop that completely. If we list the files in here, you can see that we have the encrypted file password generator.jpg right over here. Now, of course, you can specify the name of the file that you want to, you can specify the, what's the correct word for it? The name or the new name of the encrypted file if you want to do that. That's really very simple. I'll be able to show you that in the next video when we'll be making a much better script. Alright, so now we want to decrypt the file. And as I mentioned, if you're working on the same computer, GPG stores the keys for you, so you don't have to constantly keep typing them in as long as you're logged in as the user. Now, of course, if you are to try and decrypt this file using the decryptor on another computer, then you'd need to know the passphrase. In our case, the passphrase is very simple. Passphrase is password. All right, so I'm going to run the encrypt script again. And I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to ask me what I want to do. I'm going to say I want to decrypt the files. I'm going to hit enter. You have selected decryption, so please specify or enter the file name, and we're just going to copy that just to save time as there is no auto completion. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to say, let me just explain what happened. The encryption was AES 256, encrypted data, as you can see, encrypted with one passphrase, and because it has my keys, it's going to decrypt the file, and it'll display the contents of the file for you. In this case, we know this was the password generator, and it's going to display the password generator script. Alright, so that is how to essentially create a very, very simple password encryptor decrypt, and the purpose of this video is to show you the versatility, as I mentioned again, with shell scripting. Now you can combine the different aspects of them to give a user various options and to increase functionality really. So yeah, we have discussed a lot of things now, and I think we're ready now to move on to creating, as I mentioned, our network scanning script. So the first video in that will be next. I've already completed it, but now it's time to recreate it with you guys. And once that is done, I will have the code on GitHub where again you guys can improve it if you so choose to. That being said, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate the support. If you found value in this video, please leave a like down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comment section on my social networks or on my website, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.